find some sort of harmony and balance.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's up? This is BC. Wanted to give you a quick little training for those of you looking for more support. You have some unanswered questions in regards to building up your sales business / your real estate business. I wanted to go over some of the major challenges that you run into and how myself and what I offer in support can help you tremendously and bridge that gap for you, right? And some of these things that are missing that you probably will not find anywhere else, I can provide it for you. Top 4 or 5 reasons that people fail to grow, or some of the things that they overlook and they don't really double down on, that are extremely important to growing their business, making more money, being more fulfilled, and actually launching this career and moving forward with it and not becoming a statistic, all right? The first one is this. This is just as much internal as it is external. And I wrote self-esteem, all right? A lot of people who get into sales business, real estate business, a lot of us when we joined, we're not coming in affluent individuals, successful in another career, and then deciding to pivot and get into real estate or sales. We're people who maybe got chewed up and spit out of the 9-to-5 world, people who maybe are looking for something different, people who failed at another career, right? People who don't have much experience, maybe didn't go to college, or they did go to college, but whatever degree they got, I don't like it, I can't find work, right? It's usually some sort of position where we're forced into it, pushed into it, and it's not like a passion that draws us towards it, right? So we already come in with low expectations, believing that we can't do it. And on top of that, every indicator outside of us tells us the same thing. You look at the statistics, you know, you're not getting much support from the people around you. And it just seems like a very daunting task. You're like, man, what's going on here? This is crazy. And you're already coming in not believing in yourself. And I'm bringing this up first because if this isn't prioritized for you, you don't have good examples of people who have mastered this part around you, teaching you, supporting you, talking in your ear, you know, people that you can connect with and rub shoulders with and shake hands with. That right there, if it's not handled, will destroy you in your career and whatever it is that you do. And I'm bringing that up because it's normally labeled as like motivation and something that's very surface level, but this goes much deeper than that. It's really down to the core, your identity, your values, your beliefs, and some of these other things that we don't really know too much about, and not many people will really teach it in depth to you, right? So you're listening to this, and I'm obviously promoting my stuff, my Modern Success program, and all that. This is one of those things that we focus on top of all the other stuff that we'll discuss later, but this is one of the core things, because this cannot be faked, and this is a journey you have to go on and embark on and commit to. If you don't, you will always come up short. And this is a huge thing. And a lot of people don't know how to attack this subject because most people who teach it and most people coming into it who find out about it and become aware of it, they don't know where to go and they don't have the right people guiding them, okay? But this is huge. Number 2, a lot of people when they start, they never create solid and proven systems, right? A system. How do I go from A to Z in sales and real estate? What do I do? Where do I find a customer? How do I talk to them? What do I say? What's the next step? How do I set up a meeting? When do I set up a meeting? What do I say at the meeting? What do they need to sign? Once we start the transaction, who does what? Where do I need to go? What are the steps? What are the timelines? Once we close the transaction, what do I do next, right? Some of these things, you need to systemize everything. Now, in the beginning, again, if you don't have any help, we live in a different era now where you can YouTube stuff and you can find some sort of guidance, but the issue with a lot of this stuff is you're pulling and grabbing from a million different people who do things a million different ways. And if you mix and match like that, it's very difficult. It's best to go to one person, one program, one system, and streamline everything and tap into it so the application process becomes simpler and you run into less challenges and issues. Why create something new or reinvent the wheel when you don't have to, right? But you don't know what you don't know. And some of these things that I've implemented and systemized, I've learned through trial and error. Why go through the same issues that I went when you can avoid them by implementing something that already works and has been refined and enhanced to work at the peak level, and all you need to do is literally plug and play, right? Number 3, lack of support. I mentioned earlier in the first point in regards to self-esteem, but if you're like me, you don't have much support. Your family, your friends, nobody believes in you except for you. Now, if you don't believe in yourself, then guess what? You have a 0 chance of succeeding, because at the end of the day, you believing in yourself is supreme and senior to everything else. everything else. However, having a group, peers, a teacher, a coach, a mentor, whatever you want to call it, that is in your corner, that you have access to, that you can talk to, that you link up with regularly, that you have regular contact with, especially on those days that you're not feeling good, man, it's essential. But having them close, seeing them live, getting on Zoom with them once a week, being able to reach out to them and ask them questions, right? That's not the same as going to a YouTube channel or a free meetup. It's completely different. And if you've never gotten a taste of it, then you don't know. You don't have the proper reference. I can tell you, I've done a ton of events, seminars, coaching, and all that stuff, and I still do it to this day. Man, there's a reason that we keep doing it and we keep preaching it to you. It's different. Even going to an event that you have to pay, I don't know, $50 to go to, or 20 or 100. Already when you step in the room, you have other individuals who are willing to take that step. Therefore, to a higher degree, they're already more like-minded and committed, right? Imagine if the event costs 500 or 1,000 or 3,000 or 5,000, right? Each one incrementally is a tougher decision for most people. You're weeding out the people who aren't committed, and everybody in that room, before you even learn anything, the individuals there are already willing to take that step. Those are the people you want to mingle with and learn from. And I'm not even mentioning the teachings and all that stuff yet, right? That's what you want. And I've created a community of like-minded, strong people, which is a huge bonus to everything that I offer, right? The community aspect has grown and cultivated over time, which is a very unique selling proposition now. What would that be worth to you, to have brothers and sisters and people around you that are behind you, at your level, ahead of you, that you can always look to and grow with and make new friends? How many of you are struggling to find friends and people around you who don't want to grow and expand like you do? Right? You can tap into a community with hundreds of people like that. Hundreds of people. Some who have been a part of the community for years now, right? That support system, when you don't have it, you feel it. You really do. But when you do have it, you see the power and the potency of it. It's incredible. It's nothing like it. Number 4 is, for you now as a business person, how and where do you find customers and how do you generate new leads and keep that pipeline full? Well, you need tactics, and then you need the skills, right? On one side, it's bringing them in. How do you get them? Are you attracting them? Are you hunting them? And then what are you saying and what are you doing in order to make sure you sift through the ones who aren't serious, who aren't ready, and you're pulling in the ones who are ready to do transactions, to buy your product or service, and then moving them forward and being able to guide them and win their trust and earn the business over everybody else. Because this business isn't, you know, first, second, third place. You either get the sale and the customer or you don't. You either make the money or you don't. You can pay your bills or you can't. And for many of you, like it was for me in the beginning, a lot is on the line. Time is of the essence. I don't have a lot of time to BS around and try to figure it out. I need to be successful now. I know the strategies to do it. More importantly, I can teach you through everything I've learned as well, a skill set that's unrivaled. If there's one thing I can hang my hat on with this program, is my ability to teach people skills in regards to sales and communication, because I understand it at a depth that most people don't, and I study it and I continue to learn and get better every day. The people around me who tap in the most have a skill set and a way of being in a communication that is unrivaled. That I can hang my hat on 1,000% on top of all the other stuff that I'm very good at and teach. But this is the one. What would communication at that level do for you in regards to your personal life, your self-talk, your confidence, your relationships and friendships, your business partnerships, and most importantly for you watching this, your customers and your bottom line, money. The skill is what separates you when you go up against other agents and other salespeople. When you meet with a customer, you have that 5, 10, 15, 20-minute window to give them and show them the goods. This is why I've been able to, over the years, go up against these monsters that you see on TV. And if I'm competing with them, I have the confidence to win, and I win. Not always, of course, but I win. That's your fighting chance. You can't outspend them in marketing, out impress people, right? You're not on TV, just like me. But guess what? When you're meeting with someone face to face or you're on the phone, that's your opportunity to separate yourself and win people over with your skill set. That is invaluable. You cannot put a price tag on that. And what would that do for you? Think about that. And lastly, your money and your finances. Earning, making a living, making this a career, but also what do you do with the money? What are you going to do when you start getting checks? Do you know how to budget? Right? Do you know how to save money on taxes? Do you know what wealth creation is? How about money management? Do you have the discipline? Are you tracking your finances? Do you have a CPA? Have you opened up an LLC? All these basic things that I never knew that I had to teach myself and learn the hard way. But man, had I established that stuff up front right when I was new or before, when I wasn't making the money that I started making in real estate, those first couple years would have been better and I would have multiplied my money faster. You see, this is not taught in our industry. It's all about making money and selling, but nobody says when you get the money, what do you do with it? How do you manage it? How do you make it grow? How do you make it work for you? I have 8 streams of income now, and that continues to grow. And I've already broken the 7-figure barrier in income for years now. And I keep making more money. February of 2022 was a record month for me, right? And this is amongst me getting censored and all this other stuff. And oh, there's gonna be a crisis. I'm making more money than I've ever made. But I've applied a lot of these principles, and it started with some of these basics that I'll teach you, the introductory modules on my program before you even get into the nuts and bolts. One whole section is on money and finances and building wealth and making sure that you set that foundation. Who else is teaching you that? So those are the 5 things, among many others, that I would highly, highly recommend people know and focus on. And those are some of the staples that you're gonna get in my program. If you're ready, the link is below. But really you have to think, are you committed? I changed the pricing and all that on my program, and I raised it and did all that because I only want people who are committed. If you're ready, join. If not, come back another time or go somewhere else. This is for the winners and the champions, the people who are committed, because once you join, you're a part of the family, right? And you have to hold yourself up to that standard, the other people to that standard, and carry yourself as such. Because what comes after that is everything you've ever wanted. The question is are you ready for that? Are you committed? And are you willing to deal with everything along the path to get there? All right, see you guys.